Disney World's pay to skip the line service is pretty controversial.
You can pay to skip the line at Universal for a whole lot more money.
And yet some people still prefer Universal's Express Pass to Disney World's Genie Plus.
Today we're fully testing out these services to see which one is worth your money.
I'm at Disney World's Magic Kingdom with Genie Plus today.
And I'm here at Universal Orlando with Universal's Unlimited Express Pass.
And we are going to talk about the basics of each service, show you how they work, and discuss whether or not they're worth spending your money on.
To start out our experiment, I'm setting a timer for 6 hours on my phone, and we're gonna see how much we can get done with the Express Pass.
Also, I have my timer set for my 6 hours, so let's see what we can get done.
I am here at Universal's Islands of Adventure this morning. I intend to go to both parks though, because I think I will probably be able to get through a lot here at Islands of Adventure. We'll see. But I'm gonna start by heading over to Marvel Superhero Landing. I do have the Unlimited Express today. So when you add a Universal Express access to your theme park admission, you get to skip the regular lines at most of your favorite rides and attraction. You can purchase Express in advance. Options include the base Universal Express, where you can skip the line at each participating ride one time, or Universal Express Unlimited, where you can skip the line at each participating ride unlimited times. That is what I have access to today. And you might be surprised about how I have access to that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. You can purchase Express Pass for one park. If you're gonna park hop, you can get it for a little more money for 2 parks. And if you are going to Volcano Bay, they have options over there as well. My first stop this morning is going to be the Incredible Hulk Coaster. This is a super high speed, very intense roller coaster that makes you feel like you are hulking out. It's very, very fun. It's very intense. I don't always ride this one because I do get headaches on roller coasters. I'm not a big coaster gal, but every time I do ride it, I have a blast. So I'm gonna see how long that express wait is. Right now the standby is posted 55 minutes, but I can't bring anything with me on the ride. In general, for most attractions at Universal, you can only bring a bag that goes around your waist like I have. But for Hulk and Velocicoaster and Rip Ride Rocket, you do need to put everything in a locker because you will go through metal detectors.
So here we are at Pirates of the Caribbean, which is a really fun pirate-themed boat ride, kind of iconic around these parts. And also, look who's here with overalls for me. These are incredible. Oh, they're stuck.
I just held them on Big Thunder Mountain.
Nice. Do you want to ride Pirates with me?
I would love to.
Oh, come on. Hopped off of Pirates, great, 10 out of 10. I'm now gonna head to Big Thunder Mountain, and she's already done that for her video, so go watch that one. What's it called?
I'm trapped in Magic Kingdom for 14 hours.
Go watch that.
Okay, I'm off. I think I am the Hulk now. I only waited 4.5 minutes compared to a 55-minute posted standby, so saved me a ton of time. I got to ride the ride. It was super fun. Just so you're aware, the lockers are super easy to use. You use your park ticket or your room key to access them. I actually do have a room key today, which brings me to why I have Unlimited Express Pass. This is my room key. I stayed at Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel last night. You can see that tour on the channel. And we've got Universal Express Unlimited listed at the top here because a stay at the highest category of Universal hotels, the Premier category, gets you free Unlimited Express Pass for the duration of your stay. That is a major perk considering Unlimited Express Pass for both parks is typically above $150 and it's included free, and I have it. So that's amazing. And that was how I was just able to ride Hulk in 4.5 minutes and everything else we're about to do in the next 6 hours. One of those things being Storm Force Accelatron, which has a 10-minute wait right now, but we've got Express. I waited 1 minute, now I'm on the ride. And we got Lucky Yellow Accelatron.
All right, so here we are, Big Thunder Mountain. Our second ride of the day says it's a 10-minute wait.
Storm Force Accelatron. That ride is basically teacups, but much faster. I didn't spin the thing at all, and I still got dizzy. My gosh, Rogue, Wolverine, and Storm are out. I love the meet and greets in Marvel Superhero Landing. They're so fun. Let's see. Let's do Doctor Doom's Fearfall. We might as well. It's got a 25-minute wait time, but not with Express. It doesn't. One thing you might have noticed compared to Emma is that I'm not really on my phone and I'm not crisscrossing because I don't have to book a time for Express. I can use it whenever I walk up to the ride. And since it's unlimited, if I wanted to get right back on Hulk, I could. So I'm just going through the park how I would walk through the park, very relaxed, instead of having to crisscross to whatever lightning lane or ride makes sense. And I just get to use Express to do it. In my opinion, that's the biggest pro of Express, is that you kind of buy it and then you don't have to think about it, you just get to skip the lines.
All right, Big Thunder was great. Wildest roller coaster in the wilderness. Now I will say I had wanted to go to Haunted Mansion after that, but it was already at 35, which is pretty good for Mansion, but my first lightning lane of the day is about to start, so I'm gonna go tap in and make a new lightning lane ASAP, and then maybe we'll go to Mansion after that ride. First lightning lane of the day is the world famous Jungle Cruise, which is a fun little boat ride through the different jungles and rivers of the world.
A 3-minute wait on Dr. Doom's Sphere Fall compared to a posted 25. I might have to take it easy on the thrill rides, I'll be honest, because I am a little nauseous from doing those 3 in a row. Whew. But you know what they say about nausea? You should ride a simulator when you're nauseous. I think I'll just close out Marvel Superhero Landing with The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This is one of the most popular attractions in this park. It's a simulator that takes you through and into a fight with the Sinister Six alongside Spider-Man. Posted 15-minute wait, but we've got Express. Something unique about Universal's Express queues too is that sometimes you'll go through unique themed sections of the queue you won't see without Express. So this room, for instance, is the dark room at the Daily Bugle, and you can see that Spider-Man appears to have gotten into some of the chemicals because his handprints are on the ceiling. 11 minutes.
All right, Jungle Cruise was great. It's still saying 35 for Mansion, so we're gonna head that way. But while we've got some time, let's chat about Genie and everything that goes with it. So when it comes to Genie, let's kind of break down the basics. Genie Plus is actually a paid service that lets guests choose the return times for most, that's an important word, most attractions, and you get to bypass that standby line. So long story short, it's their paid skip the line service. If you knew about what Fast Pass Plus used to be, it's kind of like that, but with a fee now. So you actually go and do Genie Plus and, you know, choose your lightning lanes and everything on the My Disney Experience app that you can download on your smartphone, and you can choose one return time at a time, and you're able to book a new one once that lightning lane is used, your return time has ended, like you missed it, or after a 2-hour cooldown. Now you are able to modify your return times to an earlier one if it pops up, just like I did today with Peter Pan. And so you can change your return times. You can maybe sometimes get within that 2-hour window, but you know, that one's kind of touch and go sometimes. I will be totally honest, Genie Plus is a really confusing service and it's kind of hard to use, especially if you don't know a lot about it. Luckily, I mean, shameless plug, that's why we're here. That's our whole thing, that's what we do. So if you have any questions about Genie, we have so many videos up on the channel. You can check out our secrets to using Genie Plus. You can check out any of our perfect days where we utilize Genie, just like we would when we're here not for work. Any of those videos, there's series on it. Go check those out and you can see different strategies to using Genie Plus.
All right, first hour down, I've done an entire land, 4 full attractions, including 2 of the most popular attractions in the park. Express rocks. And I could do them all again if I wanted, which is another thing that there's not even an option to do that with Genie Plus. Once you use your lightning lane, that's your one use of it, and you cannot skip that line again. It's Captain America.
Now, like I mentioned earlier, it is a paid service. So Disney World's Genie Plus system is now per park per day, which is actually a newer update, meaning that the price is going to kind of fluctuate depending on what park you're visiting. And you can select between skipping the lines for a single day or for multiple days, which is kind of nice. Also, by the time I got over here, Haunted Mansion jumped up to 55. So we're just going to keep walking past. We'll get a lightning lane for that. not doing 55 minutes. Supposedly Space Mountain's 35, so we're gonna go check that out. But let's get back into Genie Plus discussion. So if you don't already know, Genie Plus is actually subject to availability, meaning it can sell out. And we have seen that in Disney World and in Disneyland. And the prices are gonna vary depending on how busy it is. So during the summertime, you can expect the prices to get pretty high. And then luckily during some of our off seasons, they'll drop a little bit. Prices can vary anywhere from $15 to $35 a day. Today while I'm here, if you want to visit multiple parks, so park hopping, that's going to cost you $27. I paid $27 just for Magic Kingdom. Epcot is $19, Hollywood Studios is $24, and Disney's Animal Kingdom is $17. So the least busy park today is going to be Animal Kingdom. So typically the most expensive thing that you're going to find is park hopping. Of course, that one's a multiple experience pass, so going to be a little bit more. After that, Magic Kingdom is almost always going to be the highest, followed by Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then Animal Kingdom, which is exactly what we saw today. Genie actually includes over 50 attractions throughout Walt Disney World. However, it doesn't include all of them. It does include some big rides like Slinky Dog Dash, Tower of Terror, Space Mountain here, lots of big ones. However, every single park has at least one that you have to pay an additional lightning lane fee for, and unfortunately Magic Kingdom now has two with opening of Tron. And I will say you can only skip each line one time. You cannot skip anything twice.
All right, I am now headed into Toon Lagoon. I don't think I'm going to ride anything here because though it is very, very hot, it's a Thursday in July. I just don't want to get soaking wet, so I think I'm going to skip these ones and head on. While we're strolling through Toon Lagoon though, let's talk a little bit about the price of Express because like I said, it's a whole lot more expensive than Disney's Genie Plus. So the Express Pass that we're using today is the 2-park Unlimited Express Pass, and that starts at $135 per person per day. Regular Express starts at $105 per person per day for 2 parks. The 1-park variation of Express starts at $90 for the regular and $120 for the Unlimited. And Volcano Bay has 2 different versions of the Express Pass, one of which starts for just $20. Now, these prices do vary on date and availability, so it can be a lot more expensive depending on when you come. When Emma and I did the Express versus no Express experiment here, which you can see on the channel right now, we ended up purchasing it for around $170 for the 2-park regular Express, not even Unlimited. But you can also get unlimited 2-park Express when you stay in the Universal Premier category for free. Resorts in that category include the Loews Royal Pacific Resort, Hard Rock Hotel, and Loews Portofino Bay Hotel, which is where I stayed last night. Rooms at these hotels start between $300 and $400 per night and are the highest category of Universal hotels. You can go watch my Portofino Bay tour to see what a stay at one of these hotels might look like, but it's just really awesome to me that for the price of a moderate resort at Disney or a lower price deluxe, you're also getting their skip the line offering, which is a lot more expensive, for free. And also it functions a lot easier than something like Genie Plus. Oh my gosh, a bird just almost flew into my leg. And it functions a lot easier than Genie Plus. And at the time of filming, there are no hotel guest perks for Genie Plus, besides that you can book those individual lightning lanes starting at 7 a.m. instead of at park open.
When is the best time to buy a Genie Plus? Well, we don't always recommend it. In Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, we're almost always going to tell you to grab it there. It's just going to be helpful. Those are the 2 most popular parks right now, so it's more useful than the other ones. Now I will say though, during the slower times of year, and honestly even during some of the most popular times of year, if you have a really good strategy, you don't even need Genie Plus here in Magic Kingdom. My friend Fry Bucket and I have done an entire challenge where we try to ride everything in Magic Kingdom for free in one day without paying for Genie Plus. And you can go see how that worked out up on the channel now. Now I will say, all of that to be said, you can get through some lines, but sometimes it's just nice to have. I can't lie to you guys. And it can help you get through all of your priorities. Still, we only think that you should buy it if you're really comfortable with the system and you feel like you know how to use it. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing, and if you don't really know the system or don't know how to get the most out of it, you might feel like you've wasted your money. All right, space is also a no-go, got up to 50. Buzz is 35. We can do some buzz, we can do people mover, we'll do a few things. Don't really want to waste any more time, but I truly think I can get some decent lightning lanes for Space and Haunted Mansion, because honestly, we've hit some of the biggest rides today, or we already have a lightning lane for it.
I have made it to my next ride though. We made it to Skull Island Reign of Kong. This is a simulator attraction again, lots of simulators here. Posted 55-minute wait, and I don't recommend waiting that long for this one because I do think the attraction itself can be a little disappointing, but it is a very cool simulator. The 3D effects are really good, and it's definitely going to be worth it with Express.
Alrighty, we are going to head on to Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It's showing a 20-minute wait. That sounds like music to my ears. So let's hop in and see if we can help out Buzz and defeat Emperor Zurg. Apparently we're all here except for Quincy, who's stuck at Universal. I'm skipping the lines of Genie Plus. What are you doing here?
I'm trapped.
Yes, and I've created a list of obstacles and challenges he can't escape until he completes them all.
What is this called?
Trapped in Magic Kingdom.
All right, if you guys go watch it. I don't know when this comes out. If it's out, go watch it now.
Okay, here. Otherwise, forget you ever saw
You
that.
never saw you. Alrighty, so it looks like Under the Sea, The Journey to the Little Mermaid is about 20 minutes. That will actually maybe get higher today, and I was gonna hop on the People Mover, but it is also showing about 20 minutes, and that will definitely get lower. And even if it doesn't, I love the People Mover. I think you need to do it. If you're not like into like a slow, chill ride, which not everyone is, maybe skip it. I'm sorry I said that. I don't actually believe that. But it's not for everyone, and I have to acknowledge that for you guys. I have to acknowledge that. I have to be honest with you. It's not for everyone, even if it's for me.
That was my longest wait so far. It was about 25 minutes with Express, which is still better than an hour, but it was just a longish line. That's a fun attraction. It's just one that I don't always consider worth the wait. It's similar to Fast and Furious, so you're on like a big bus. There's a lot of stuff happening around you. Most of the attraction is on screens. Unlike Fast and Furious, the screens are very believable on this ride, and I think it's actually kind of exciting. And there's a really amazing King Kong animatronic at the end. But, you know, still not worth an hour in my opinion. I will say the wait drops a lot in the evening, so something to keep in mind if you ride it around close, or if you have Express, worth riding. This is a good time. We're walking past an attraction called Pteranodon Flyers. This is an attraction that you can only ride if you are within a certain height range as a little kiddo, or if you're with a kiddo in that height range and you're an adult supervising. But that's this really cool like Flyers ride above us here. This is one of the 2 attractions that are not included with Express. So let's talk a little bit about what Express does include. It includes 29 attractions across the 2 parks, and that is pretty much every single ride except for Pteranodon Flyers and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Yes, Velocicoaster is now included with Express, as you can see up above, and we will definitely be doing that one. Pteranodon Flyers is excluded just because it does have a very low capacity. That's also part of the reason that it has such a limited height acceptance. And Hagrid's, of course, is the most popular ride in this park. If you want to ride Hagrid's, you're going to want to do it very first thing in the morning. You're going to want to rope drop it. If you want to see this strategy, you can watch our Perfect Day Islands of Adventure video. You can watch our Everything in Harry Potter World in One Day video. You can watch our Perfect Day Harry Potter World video. We rope drop Hagrid's all the time, talk you through the ways to do it and everything like that. So you can also watch our 8 Parks in One Day video where we rope drop Hagrid's. There's just a lot of times that we do that. But it is not included in Express because it is so popular. That motorcycle style attraction that takes you into the Forbidden Forest, the Story Coaster. It is so much fun. Definitely worth doing, but your Express will not help you get on it any faster. Now, if you do have Express through your hotel like I do, you will also get early entry to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. In fact, if you stay at any Universal hotel or have a Universal Annual Pass most times of year, you'll get that early entry. And that early entry will typically get you on Hagrid's a little faster. I've usually waited less than an hour with that early entry, and it is worth the wait. Right now, as it's the busy season, annual pass holders do not have that early entry. It's only for hotel guests, so definitely a huge perk. You definitely want to take advantage of it. if you want to ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. All right, our next stop is Jurassic World Velocicoaster. This is the newest attraction here at Universal Orlando, at least until Despicable Me Villain Blast opens. There's a single rider line, it's a 60-minute wait, and of course there is Express, which is what we'll be using. I've never used Express for this attraction because it's really only been the past few months that it's been available for Express, so let's see how long the wait is. Okay, so there are lockers within the Velocicoaster queue, so you don't have to go before you get in line, but you do have to put everything in like bulk.
So Little Mermaid was a little bit longer of a wait than we had anticipated, but it's almost time for me to pull my next lightning lane, so I am gonna go grab a lovely glass of ice water because we all need that. You go get your cup of water. I'm gonna find a place to figure out what I want my next lightning lane to be. We'll both drink our water, we'll cheers, so make sure you have it and then we'll reconvene, okay? Break. I grabbed one of my favorite sandwiches and I'm gonna quickly eat this and then keep going. But also I pulled another lightning lane for Haunted Mansion.
I am gonna head into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So let's head on Forbidden Journey. This is one that because I have a fanny pack, we're okay, and I can go on. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey is a ride that takes you into Hogwarts. It is a very fun attraction, but incredibly motion sickness inducing. I think it's a must do once, but I'm serious, maybe take some Dramamine. I've heard people say that this one is like the most motion sickness inducing ride they've ever been on. I've heard people say that they've never had motion sickness before and got it on this ride. Just a really unique attraction. I've never used the express lane on this ride, so I wonder if we're gonna miss a lot of the queue. This queue is probably one of my favorite queues of all time. So this is one that I would maybe advise not using express for. It looks like they've got some aspects of the queue, like we're walking through a different Great Hall where the founders are speaking in the talking portraits, which is pretty cool. But I think we're gonna miss a couple of the really cool scenes. Okay, well actually, they do a pretty good job because we're in Dumbledore's office now, and that means we will see the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. So really what you miss here is the basement, the greenhouses, and some of the entrance theming, but you still see a lot of it. Still, this ride typically has really short waits in the evening, so if you can wait and ride this at the end of the day, you can usually get on it with like a 10-minute wait or less. I mean, it's got a pretty high capacity, so even right now it's a 35-minute wait, which isn't horrible. I think we're gonna be on it in about 3 minutes though.
Okay, so I was finishing up my sandwich. I'm trying to throw this away. And I was like, I'll just see if I can make, maybe modify my Haunted Mansion one, because I had to enact the 2-hour cooldown. I go to open it. The modify gave me one for right now. Literally right this second. So I'm walking to Haunted Mansion, and that means I'm not gonna have to wait for my 2-hour cooldown now and can reuse another lightning lane. Always check the modify. It's not always gonna work out. Since they've changed it, it does not work out as often as we would like, but always check it. You never know what could happen. All right, here we are, Haunted Mansion. I literally just got this lightning lane maybe 5 minutes ago. It's a 50-minute wait where you go through a Haunted Mansion. Pretty crazy. They always have room for 1,000 goes though, but they only have 999 if you are looking for a new place to stay.
I waited about 3.5 minutes. So we can't ride Hagrid's, but there is another ride here in Wizarding World that we will go ahead and ride. It's right behind me. It's Flight of the Hippogriff. Flight of the Hippogriff is a pretty short, kind of more family kid-geared roller coaster where you ride on the back of a hippogriff like Buckbeak, It's pretty fun. It's very short and, in my opinion, not typically worth a long wait unless there maybe is just a kiddo who really wants to ride it. The coolest thing about it is the Buck Beak animatronic. Confirmed. It was like just walking up to the very front. There was no one in the express line. It was a 2-minute walk to get on Flight of the Hippogriff. That ride is definitely faster than you think it is, and the seats are not very comfortable. I think it's pretty thrilling for a kid coaster. So I think we might hop on the Hogwarts Express and head over to the other park. It is halfway through, so we might as well. The only lands that we didn't touch with Express in this park are Seuss Landing and the Lost Continent. Lost Continent doesn't have any attractions right now, and Seuss has some attractions, but they're all fairly easy to ride without Express most times of day. So I think we'll be okay passing on those. Well, I guess I could just go like knock them out. Add to our tally. What do you guys think? I've decided to go do some Seuss Landing fun. There's a lot of like obviously more family geared rides in the Seuss area, and some of them are very, very cute. So I think we go just like jump through them really quick. I bet we can get through all 3 of the Seuss rides in 35 minutes. Let's do it.
All right, so Haunted Mansion was great. Amazing use of the Modify and Lightning Lane. Now it's time for our Peter Pan Lightning Lane, which we utilized our 2-hour cooldown for, so we aren't gonna get to make another Lightning Lane now. But we have Space Mountain in like 30 minutes? I don't know. Genie's being very kind to me today.
This is gonna be our first stop. It's the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley train ride. It's my favorite ride in Seuss Landing because it takes you on a part indoor, part outdoor tour of Seuss Landing, and you get to see elements of theming that are on the rooftops that you can't normally see. It's only a 15-minute posted wait, so I have a feeling our express wait is going to be much shorter than that. Confirmed. It was only like a 2-minute, well, I guess it was like a 3.5-minute walk to get up to the platform to load that ride. One thing I like about that ride is there's different narration, different times you ride it. So that time I got the one that's just the story of the Starbellied speeches. Carousel is the carousel with Dr. Seuss creatures. It's a 5-minute wait, which makes me think it's probably gonna be a 1 to 0 minute wait to walk on with Express. Whenever I ride Carousel, I always ride the small pink elephant because my dad rode it when I was a kid and it tickled me because he looked so big on it. So I always ride that one. It's not comfortable, it's too small. That's what I did this time. Okay, I forgot about a ride. There's 2 more rides in Seuss Land. We'll do them both, just for kicks and giggles. Let's check out One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish.
All right, Peter Pan was absolutely amazing. It's a kiddie ride, but I think it's tons of fun. You fly over London, and I don't think it's worth a long wait, so I always try to go through the Lightning Lane with this one. It's just not. It's great. It's not worth more than 40 minutes, 45 minutes of your life. So we have about 30 minutes until our next Lightning Lane, so I think I'm gonna head over and do People Mover, and then we'll see where we land. How long the People Mover? All right, People Mover was great, but now it is finally time for Space Mountain. I have only had to really do the 2-hour cooldown one time today. It's actually kind of rare. We have to do the 2-hour cooldown every so often. I would say maybe 50% of the time, to be honest with you, especially in Magic Kingdom. It's not quite so bad at other places, but Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, you kind of fall into that maybe half the time. Luckily, I haven't today. I've only had to do it once, but I will say that is one of the worst things, honestly, about Genie Plus, comparing it to the Express Pass. You don't have to wait for the Express Pass. You can just go and do it and stay off your phone and, you know, have that nice experience. But with Genie, you know, you have to wait and you have to be on your phone to get certain things. But it's a lot less, so, you know.
This might be weird, but I highly recommend this ride. It is a regular, like, Dumbo style pick you up and go around attraction, except for the fact that it sprays water at you, kind of like the camels on Magic Carpets of Aladdin in Disney World. But if you listen to the rhyme that is playing while the ride goes, you can avoid the water by going the way the rhyme tells you to. If you don't listen to the rhyme, then you could get sprayed with water. It was truly about 45 seconds that the ride ended and they let me on, so no wait at all with Express on that one. although most of the line cleared anyway, so it was a short wait regardless. And our final Seuss ride, we've got the Cat in the Hat. This is a 20-minute wait. It is a dark ride that takes you through the story of the Cat in the Hat. It is oddly terrifying. Like really, it is oddly terrifying. But I'll do it for the sake of science. My goodness, but are they blasting the AC in here or what? Holy moly, it feels so good.
Space Mountain, great, fun, lots of good times. While I was online, I did get another lightning lane. I wanted to get one for Winnie the Pooh, but Winnie the Pooh is down. So it didn't really make sense for me to grab a lightning lane for a ride that isn't open right now. But Small World had a 60-minute wait, but also a lightning lane for right now. So I'm gonna go do my Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which was my individual lightning lane for the day, which cost $11. I'm gonna go do that one before the rain starts.
A few minutes later.
Okay, I did not beat the rain. So Seven Dwarfs just announced they're closed. So hopefully I can make it to like PhilharMagic or something inside. It's still, it's actively raining. Okay, here we go, Mickey's PhilharMagic. So when you do have a lightning lane and it gets rained out, or maybe the ride is closed during your hour that it's open, you're gonna probably get what's called an experience redemption. I just got mine sent to the app from the Seven Dwarfs that just closed, and so now I can go and redeem that experience whenever after my starting time.
Absolutely nightmarish. We can't show footage of Universal attractions, you can't film them. So you're just gonna have to trust me that it's a very scary ride. But I did also get cooled down, so maybe worth it this time. And yeah, it was actually a little bit longer of a wait on this one. I waited about 7 minutes on this, just because there were a couple of parties in the express line and they were it's just a slow, low capacity attraction. So the loading was a bit of a slow process. Only a 25-minute posted wait for Hogsworth's Express from Hogsmeade to King's Cross. It was actually pretty low for this ride. You do need a 2-park ticket to ride this ride. It does take you to the other park, so you have to have access to the other park. Now, in my experience, you can still wait a while for the Hogwarts Express, even if you're using Express Pass, because it's about when the train comes. So we're still gonna wait a lot less, but I know that I've waited, I think last time I did this with Express, I think I waited like 30-ish minutes for it, so it's a much shorter line this time though. Okay, it was just 5 minutes before they started telling us where we're gonna load onto the train. So now we just have to wait for the train to come back and then we'll be able to board.
PhilharMagic was great. It was so cute. The rain has momentarily stopped, so I am going to go do my Small World lightning lane, and then I'm gonna go see hopefully Seven Dwarfs is back open, and we'll find out on the app. Small World lightning lane entrance. This is a quintessential Disney boat ride. It takes you all through different cultures and different places around the world, and you can see that it is a small world after all. Oh.
Alright, we made it to London and to Universal Studios, the other park. I'm actually going to the real London later this year with my family and I'm very excited. So being here, it's like that, but that'll probably be better. But yeah, so now we're in Diagon Alley. There's one main attraction here. It is Escape from Gringotts, an incredibly popular attraction. Probably the most popular attraction in this park. And we're gonna express it. Express it. While I make my way over to the attraction, I do want to talk about when to buy Express. I would say that Express is not always worth the spend, especially on weekdays throughout the year. If you only have one day at Universal, it's probably worth it to get through everything you want to do. On weekends and in the summer, it can also save you a lot of time and a lot of long lines. And also just keep in mind if you're willing to stay at Universal that the difference between 2 hotel stays might be much less than Express. So you could pay for a nicer hotel and get it included instead of buying it separately. This is another one where you will have to get a locker if you don't have a bag that can go around your waist. This is another story coaster as well, so part simulation, part roller coaster. Really cool. A lot of people love it. It's very fun. It's not canon accurate to Harry Potter, but you still see the bad guys, the good guys, cool sets, cool magical creatures, so it's pretty fun. And I walked past a ton of people to get here. This is still probably going to be like a 10-15 minute wait, but we'll be on Gringotts soon enough. Gringotts, super fun. About an hour and 15 minutes left for Gringotts. I was right, I rated like 16 minutes on the dot from when the express line stopped, or from when I got in the line of actual people, and then rode it, and it was super fun as usual. And I got to cool down again, which is the real win. Headed to Men in Black Alien Attack. This one is a Men in Black themed shooter attraction. It's my favorite shooter attraction in Orlando. I think it is so fun. It's got a 40-minute wait right now. Let's see what it is with Express.
All of the outdoor attractions are still closed, but I got at least one more lightning lane for the day, which was Mad Tea Party. And I could have gotten Winnie the Pooh. There were still a lot of lightning lanes actually. They just all were outside of my 6-hour window. So we're going to Mad Tea. It is a 20-minute wait right now. Luckily we get to kind of skip through that one. This is one where you get in one of Alice in Wonderland's teacups and you spin around. Normally it'll go below 20, so this is good.
The wait for that was a little longer, not super long though. It was like 12 minutes. So not bad. 12 minutes isn't terrible. I've got about 45 minutes, which I want to say is enough to make it through about 3 more rides. What do I want those rides to be though? All right, I've decided to do Transformers The Ride 3D. It's got a 15-minute wait time right now. Let's see how long it is with Express. I saved the Allspark. That one was one of the longer ones. It was about 18 minutes to the front of the Express lane, which isn't horrible compared to a 15-minute wait. But I don't know if we're gonna make it on the rest of the things I wanna make it on. All right, look at the time. Yeah, okay, I just have 20 more minutes in my 6 hours, which I think means we're gonna make it on one more, totaling us 17 attractions, which isn't too shabby. I am gonna ride the Mummy because it's one of my favorites, but on the way there I wanna talk about the pros and cons of Universal Express, just as a service on its own and also versus Genie. One of the pros is that it is not confusing and not a hassle once you get to the park. All you need is your room key or your park admission and you're in. You're in the express lane. You just get to hop in it. You don't have to book any times, nothing like that. So it's not confusing and it's not a hassle. Also, you can ride whatever you want, whenever you want. Even with the Limited Express, you just can't do re-rides. So whatever you want, whenever you want, and that's pretty cool. It's a pro that you can get it as a hotel perk, which you certainly can't do with Genie. It's also a pro that you are guaranteed to skip the lines you want as long as nothing is going wrong with that attraction. With Genie, if a lightning lane books up, you might not get to skip that line. But here, you're skipping the line as long as that express lane is open. This is an appropriate one as we're about to get on one of the most popular rides in the park. It includes almost all of the most popular rides in both parks. In fact, it includes most of the rides in both parks. And finally, you can book in advance, which is also a plus just because it's one less thing to worry about day of. Now, there aren't a lot of cons, but one of them is a pretty big one. You cannot skip the line at Hagrid's or Pteranodon Flyers at all. There's no option to upcharge for it. None, even a little bit. The other and the biggest con is that Express is expensive. It is over $100 in most cases to get Express, and that can really add up if you're traveling in a group as a family. I mean, think about buying that for a family of 4. Woo! So definitely the money is where Express is going to be a big negative. Okay, I'm in line for Mummy. Got plenty of time to get on the ride. I get to look at Brendan Fraser, so I'm a happy camper. I am sad though because Vamos, which is my favorite Streamosphere show here, did just start outside and I'm missing it. Ugh.
All right, so 7 Dwarfs never came back up, and my timer is going off in like the next 2 minutes. So let's unpack, let's talk about what happened, and talk about Genie Plus. So over the course of 6 hours, I got 5 lightning lanes, 1 extra individual lightning lane, and Fry Bucket.
Tiana just told me to kiss a frog.
Did you? So when it comes to pros, Well, it's less expensive by a long shot. Even if you buy both of the Lightning Lanes in Magic Kingdom, it's gonna be less expensive. There is also the ability to just ride that most popular ride. So you don't necessarily have to pay for every single one if you just wanna do the most popular one. However, when it comes to cons, I won't lie to you guys, Genie Plus is confusing. I use it every single day and sometimes it still catches me off guard. There also is not as much freedom. You can only book one Lightning Lane at a time, which is kind of, you know, it's a little frustrating, especially if you're trying to go for certain ones throughout the day. You do have to compete with other guests for those good Lightning Lane return times too, which also can be pretty frustrating because if once they're gone, and you don't have that experience with Express. You can only skip each line once, which is also just, I don't know, if you want to re-ride, you could do that. Another con is you can't book it until the day of, so it's just a little bit of an added, day of stress. We don't really love that. Overall, I think that there are positive and negatives to both of them, and I like Genie Plus. It's just cheaper, it's more affordable for me, but I can't deny Express is pretty nice if you have the cash for it or if you're staying at Universal.
All right, made it off, Mommy. It was just 11 minutes, which is awesome because that ride is so fun and definitely worth an 11-minute wait. So as you can probably see, these skip the line services are very useful, but whether or not they're going to be worth the spend is really up to you and your party's needs, how many of you there are, where you're staying, what you're planning to do, how many days you have, your priorities, all that stuff. Hopefully this video has helped make the decision a little bit easier whether you're at Disney World or Universal. There's obviously pros and cons to both services.
If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And now go watch Emma ride everything at Universal Orlando Resort. I'll see you there.